Have you ever thought about how language is the ultimate form of freedom? God created the universe, speaking it into being. So he's a God of language. We know that, and we know that Jesus is the Word. Incarnate language. But for me, the idea that my physical body can create sounds that bring my physical body into relationship with my consciousness in the form of actual words. And I can do that with volition and intent. And I'm able to do that with freedom. There's nothing telling me what I need to say. I can find language both to express my thinking, but that language requires me to use my body to form it. It's breath. It's the movement of my diaphragm. And so this notion that language itself is an entirety. It brings my materiality and my spirituality together. And it's just like a God who would speak the universe into being to give us the gift of language. We get to play with words. We get to use words like a goldsmith to create jewelry, fine words, precise words, words which convey exactly what you're trying to say, words that haven't been fragmented and chopped and squashed into 2 seconds, words that can be lucid and form a sentence. A sentence itself is a proposition which is a philosophical entirety. You need a subject, you need an object. God is a subject. The universe in that regard is an object. It's a glorious metaphysical expression of a sentence. And we get to reflect that creativity, God's creativity, in our materiality, with our spirituality in the form of words. And do you know what the most important thing is in language? It's silence. It's what happens between the words that really matters. Where words are many, sin is not absent. That's what Proverbs talks about. It's all about language. When we stand in the presence of God in awe, I don't think we'll speak. Something about silence which is absolutely imperative. And if we're going to learn how to speak, if we're going to learn how to mobilize language that can transform culture, whether it's painted language, written language, poetic language, we have to learn how to be silent. And distraction and noise is an enemy. And we have to learn how to be silent. And I'm saying that sitting on the front of my seat because it's an imperative. We don't know how to be silent. It's a terrifying experience for most people in our culture because we are surrounded by so much noise. But language grows out of silence. When my daughter died, I felt the presence of the Lord Jesus Christ like I have never known it before. I was transported, and everything in me went quiet. I don't have language for it. The only language I have for it is to use my hands to describe what it's like for something to become completely still. Not the absence of movement or action, but stillness which is so quiet, it's straining to listen. And I think when we meet with God, our whole being longs to listen. And we are so attentive, we barely want to take a breath because we're listening with our entire being. We're holding our breath to hear. And I think that's worship, giving God our complete attention, 100% attention, every fiber of our whole body, right from our toes, right to every part of us, is giving the living God our attention. And we're waiting for him. And I think that's what worship is. And sometimes our worship can do the very opposite of what is truly needful in coming into the presence of God, which is to still us in the fear, the holy fear of the Lord. And that's a quiet place.